Okay guys, I just finished putting away the groceries that I got this morning at the store, and I'm going to start making breakfast and then take you guys along with our Sunday grown-up responsibilities, meal prepping and house cleaning, and it's gonna be great. So stay tuned. So my first task on my to-do list is to get all this meat bagged and frozen for future use. I'm also simultaneously prepping some breakfast sausage, which I didn't record that. I thought I did, but oops. This first thing I'm bagging is the pork roast that I bought at Cash Saver, and I need good pork roast recipes. So if you have any of those, comment them below and let me check them out. So now I'm prepping my chicken cutting station. I have to get my garbage bowl out. I always have to have a garbage bowl. And here's Drew coming in to show me a toy that he found that he said he's going to keep. This is probably my least favorite job, which is why I'm getting it out of the way first. I always go in and cut the nasty bits out of my chicken just so I don't have to worry about it on the day of cooking. But seriously, it's the grossest job. When it's time for me to bag the chicken up, I usually do 2 to 3 chicken breasts per bag depending on how big they are. Now I'm moving on to the ground beef that I got, and I'm gonna now decide that I should get out a cutting board. I always bag everything up in 1 pound increments because most recipes call for 1 pound of ground beef, so I can just grab out what I need. Drew had to come in and help me bag up the ground beef because it was just going to be a pain in the butt to do it by myself. And of course, Issa's back there supervising. I always flatten out my ground beef before I put it in the freezer. I've found out that flattening it first makes it easier to thaw later. I'm gonna finish up breakfast, and I'm opening this bag of roasted potatoes that I bought at Trader Joe's. They are delicious. Once my potatoes are almost done, I'm gonna put the sausage back in just to make sure it's heated up. Now I'm gonna get Drew's eggs started. My mom brings us eggs from her chickens and turkey, so that's what Drew's gonna have this morning for breakfast. These are 4 chicken eggs and 1 turkey egg, and yes, he eats that much. Has anyone ever noticed that fresh eggs are harder to crack? I have the hardest time every time. So now I'm gonna season the eggs. Drew puts seasoned salt on everything. Anything that needs seasoning, he puts seasoned salt on it. So that's what he got in his eggs. I watch the show Worst Cooks in America, and they always have one episode every season where the contestants have to make eggs, and every time I make eggs, I just imagine Anne Burrell making eggs. Alright guys, so we just finished breakfast and bagging up all the meat that we bought and put it in the freezer. So now I'm going to start making Drew's lunches and snacks for the week. I'm going to hard boil some eggs, make turkey and sweet potato chili. I don't have a recipe for that, I'm just kind of winging it. And then I might make some buffalo chicken spaghetti squash, so we'll see how that goes. Dropping an egg while I'm making hard-boiled eggs is definitely a nightmare of mine, and today it happened. I always make the eggs for 10 minutes in the Instant Pot. That's how Drew likes them cooked. And at this point I realized that my sink was completely full of dirty dishes, so I decided to take care of that really quick. Note to self, these are not the ideal tongs for this job. So now I'm going to get started on the chili, and I was originally going to make chili with sweet potatoes in it, but I forgot, so I just did turkey and served it with sweet potatoes. While my meat is simmering, I'm going to unload the dishwasher really quick. In the background of all this, Drew had been cleaning up the garage and doing laundry, but now he's gonna come in and help me unload the dishwasher. I swear he really does come in and help me here in a minute. See, there he is. Yay! While all this was going on, my Tex-Mex meatloaf was cooking in the crock pot, and I'll link the recipe video for that below. But here in a minute, I realize what I'm going to make with dinner, and I was really excited about it. Is anyone else super particular about how their dishwasher gets loaded? I love Drew so much and I appreciate when he does the dishes, but it drives me nuts how he loads the dishwasher. So for my chili seasoning mix, I use 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, and a sprinkle of red pepper flake. After I mix all that up together, then I add in 1 jar of black beans and 1 can of corn. I make black beans in bulk and freeze them, so that's what I used, and then I added in some fire roasted diced tomatoes. And I just let that sit on the stove for a while. I did end up adding a little bit of water because I thought it was pretty thick. This is around the time that I realized I didn't put any sweet potatoes in the chili, so I'm preheating the oven to 375 and I'm just gonna cut sweet potatoes. Isa comes running when she hears the cutting board. So I'm just gonna have these and bake them. I think I put them in for about 40 minutes. Isa always gets a sweet potato. P.S. I've cleared this with my vet and it is okay. I was in a car wreck back in December and it really messed up my hand, so my right hand looks crazy when I'm trying to cut vegetables because it really is a struggle, but I'm just trying to get more use out of my hand. So for the seasoning on the sweet potatoes, I'm just going to spray them with a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to use salt and chili powder. With my messed up hand, I did not trust myself to cut this spaghetti squash, so I asked Drew to come cut it for me. So now I'm just going to scoop out the seeds and dump them in my garbage bowl and get these seasoned and in the oven. I had the oven set to 425 and I had these in for about 45 minutes. The sweet potatoes were looking really good at this point. They were starting to caramelize on the top, which looked delicious. So now that everything is done, we're just gonna box it all up and get it in the fridge so that I can get out of the kitchen for the day. The sweet potatoes and the chili ended up making 5 lunches for Drew to take to work this week. My spaghetti squash turned out so good. I've been eating this all week for breakfast or lunch or dinner or whatever. It's so good.
Alright y'all, so that's it for our Sunday prep day. We got 3 grocery trips in. We did hard-boiled eggs for Drew's snacks for the week. We meal prepped Drew's lunches and some spaghetti squash for me to have throughout the week. I've got dinner in the crock pot right now and I am about to post up on the couch and watch Netflix. So I hope everybody had a great weekend and I'll see y'all in the next one.